Welcome to the Village Family Services. I'm Angèle. Today we are chatting with Lise Ritter. She is the owner and natural therapist from A Passion for Life in North Bay, Ontario. A Passion for Life's Wellness Center in North Bay provides a variety of holistic alternative therapies. Health and wellness is an important key to balancing your life. Lise, could you give us a brief description of what is included with the Wellness Center?
Hi, Angèle. I'd love to do that. The Wellness Center is me, so I do it all. I studied holistic health therapies in Toronto a number of years ago, and it covers a broad spectrum. But the ones that I focus on are aromatherapy massage, hot stone massage. I use essential oils with that. I do reflexology, Reiki, nutrition, counseling, and I also have a broad range of essential oils as well, which I use with the clients for lots of different therapies. But probably the therapies that I find are the most powerful are nutrition and using essential oils. The transformation, the changes that we see are very quick. And well, I guess sometimes quick, sometimes a little slower. It depends on how quickly we can apply it in our life, but it is very powerful. And when it comes to food and nutrition, we forget that we're not eating the food that we used to eat. You know, when our grandparents used to eat, we're not living in the same environment. We're surrounded with lots of toxins. Babies are born now with hundreds of chemicals in their blood before they even start this life, you know, and we're bombarded with so much stress and EMF and a variety of things. And then we have all the GMO foods and all the chemicals in our food. So food is not what it used to be. You know, something that should be so simple and so easy and so healthy just isn't anymore. And what we're seeing is that the foods that we're eating, especially the packaged, prepackaged stuff and the fast foods, are loaded with chemicals that are destroying our gut health. And there's been a good 30 to 40 years of science and research now showing and confirming that if our gut is not healthy, the rest of us is not healthy. And our healthy gut will determine how healthy our brain is and how healthy the rest of our body is. So it's quite interesting, because now what we know is 80% of our immune system is actually in our gut. So what we eat is going to affect our immune system, and we really need that right now, right? Because we're so stressed that we need to be eating foods that are going to support our body, but it starts in the gut. And then the food that we eat, food is like it's information. So that information goes up to our brain through what's called the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve connects our brain and our gut. And it either feeds our sympathetic system, which is the fight or flight, or it feeds our parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. So unfortunately, we're all so stressed out right now, even if we're doing all the best that we can do, that we're typically more in the fight or flight or freeze mode. And that really affects our immune system. It really affects our overall health. So when it comes to autism, for example, autistic children are always shown to have very unhealthy gut microbiome. So that a healthy microbiome is having a diversity, like lots of different bacteria, good bacteria, and having a good balance. Because we always have the different kinds of microbes and pathogens. If those are low and the good ones are high, then that's okay. We'll never have 100% just good bacteria. There's always the other ones, but they serve a purpose too if they're in low ratio. And if we are eating GMO foods, even foods that are industrialized foods, they're so heavily sprayed, it's damaging our digestive lining. And it's causing lots of issues like leaky gut and all sorts of things that starts to create allergies, lots of allergies. Children have lots of allergies these days. And the gut, because it's directly connected to the brain, people just can't function. They can't think. They're
Yeah.
always stressed. And so it comes down to having a really healthy
Is that
digestion.
my problem?
I don't know.
Is that what is that's what's happening?
Yeah, it's a lot of it. The crazy thing is that when we're stressed, we want to eat those foods that are not good for us, right? We're craving
Yep.
sugar, we're craving the simple
Yep.
carbs and all of those things because we're stressed. But it's actually making the situation worse because now it's really affecting our brain, right? So wheat is a big one. Even if we don't think that our body is being affected by it, it is, and we just don't feel it yet. So it's just a matter of time. And our digestive system does repair and heal itself quickly. But if we're always giving it the foods, I don't even call it food, I call it more like non-food. If we're always giving those foods, our bodies, those unhealthy foods, then eventually our digestive system is going to go, oh, I can't do this anymore. And it's done. And that's when we start to see some symptoms that start to manifest. And a lot of it is cognitive. So that's one of the first things that get affected. Then our sleep is affected, and just our energy level is affected. Then we have foggy brain, and then we're impatient. Like it just kind of skyrockets. Then we start to develop all kinds of health issues, and autoimmune diseases are being shown to start in the gut. Like it is an unhealthy gut that starts to cause that, the different types of autoimmune diseases that we have. So our health really does start with a healthy gut microbiome. The good news is there's lots of foods and lots of things that we can do to repair that and to reverse it. When we're working with children, of course, they're a little bit more difficult because we can't really reason with them, right? And we have to introduce things slowly, and we have to be patient. And sometimes we have to be sneaky and introduce healthy foods in different ways.
Yeah, I did that to my daughter. I pretended it was an ice cream cone, but it was mashed potato. When she was little, I can't do it now, but it worked.
Oh, did it? Okay. Well, yeah. And we know our children, right? So we know probably, and sometimes children it's not so much the taste, but the texture. So it's kind of finding different ways to introduce it. And I know that often when children are involved in preparing the food, that they will be more interested in trying it. So it's trial and error. But there are fermented foods. And another thing that's really important is just having good healthy oils in our diet, not the trans fats, but healthy oils are really important for our brain.
And what would that be? What would be
So
considered?
there's a few really good ones. If we're cooking with oil, it should be something like that doesn't have a high burn rate. So coconut oil is a really good one. We hear about coconut oil all the time, but it does have a flavor. So if you want something that doesn't have flavor, then avocado oil is a really good option as well. And it cooks at high temperatures. And if people like butter, although I use ghee, ghee is just, I make my own. It's butter that has been boiled and clarified so that now all of the dairy part of it is gone and you just have the fat. It's very tasty.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
But it's also good for you. If you're not vegan, right, there's always options. Flaxseed oil is a very good oil that you can use not to cook, and olive oil, those two are really good. And fish oil, omega-3 fish oil, is an oil that we don't eat enough fish to ever have as much as we need. And EPA, DHA is a type of oil. It's an essential fatty acid that we have to get out of our diet. Our body doesn't produce it, but it's really, really important for our brain. All of the other oils that I mentioned, our bodies will convert into EPA, DHA, but it takes a lot more oil in our diet to convert it to that, as opposed to just having a tablespoon of the fish oil, and your body doesn't have to work so hard to convert it. So it is very important to have good oils in our diet. I know that my generation, I grew up with low-fat diet and all of that stuff. Unfortunately, there was no science behind that. And it didn't reduce heart disease. It actually made it worse. So
Wow.
It did, yeah. So, and the science is always mainstream, and science are always like 20 years behind. So we know today that we need to have good, healthy fats in our diet to be healthy. And what makes us fat is sugar, and what causes heart disease is actually the simple carbs and the sugars. Those are actually the ones that truly do
So
cause.
carbs and sugars are the worst.
Yeah, and simple carbs. I mean, simple carbs are the flours and the donuts and the cookies and the sugar, the things that our bodies convert to sugar really, really fast. Things like fruit that have the fiber, that's a complex carb, so that's okay because the fiber is going to slow that down. Vegetables have lots of fiber if you're eating it raw, so that will slow down the, and it's not high carbs anyway. It'll slow down it's what we're looking at is insulin response. So when we have sugar, our insulin response is fast and high, and we don't want that. When that happens continually, that's when we start to have insulin resistance and start to have prediabetes and diabetes.
Okay.
So
Wow.
we're gonna
So, Liz, you also have other services within your wellness center, and I'm sure a lot of parents would like to hear about that. I know I would.
yes. Well, actually, one of the things that I do is kind of not a sideline, but I sell essential oils, and essential oils are really powerful and can be used for a variety of conditions, including right now, stress, stress, being able to sleep. And a great way, again, going back to the vagus nerve and or the connection to our parasympathetic nervous system, there's a really easy way of using essential oils where you just put a dab just behind your ear, and because that's where the vagus nerve starts and it connects to the brain and it goes down to the digestive system. So it can affect both really, really fast. So that's one.
So, which aroma would you suggest would be good for stress?
Are you asking for children or adults? Because it
Both. Both.
So for children, because they are tiny, they're smaller and they're much more sensitive. An essential oil like chamomile is really, really good. Chamomile is also very good for adults as well, but for children in particular. Other ones, of course, we hear about lavender all the time, but bergamot is a really good one. A lot of the floral ones are very good for calming. So rose, jasmine, really almost any geranium, all of those floral ones are very calming, but not everybody likes those. So you have to kind of see what you like.
So I've heard of this because we're all wearing masks now.
Yeah.
Some people are dabbing a bit of that oil into their mask. Is that something that would be recommended?
Yeah, I actually did a video on Instagram about that.
Oh yeah, did you? Okay.
I did, because when I first started wearing masks at the office, because we have to wear masks, I noticed the first week I was exhausted. And I had headaches and I just wasn't feeling well, and I realized, duh, it's the mask. So I started putting just a dab, not in the mask, but just kind of at the bottom here, because it is quite potent, right, to have it right in the nose. So I put it down below. And I would use things like peppermint or eucalyptus, because during the day you want to be alert,
Awake.
and helping your lungs to breathe, because the mask really does make it very difficult to breathe. And we're breathing back in the carbon monoxide that, not carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide that we're supposed to be breathing out, we're breathing back in. So I've been recommending oils like peppermint and
Yeah, I love peppermint. I have a diffuser and I use the peppermint.
yeah, it's very uplifting, right? Lemon is also very uplifting. So during the day, there's essential oils for the day and then essential oils for nighttime. Right?
Yep.
During the day, the lemon one, bergamot again, like I said, bergamot is interesting because it's a citrus, but it can be uplifting and calming at the same time. So that's kind of neat.
I'm gonna have to try that one.
Yeah, it's a nice one. And we all have different sensitivities to smells, just like we do food. So you have to kind of see what you like.
And what about for nighttime? What do you recommend?
For nighttime, there's a variety of different ones. Again, any of the ones that I mentioned before for calming the nerves are helpful for nighttime as well. So any of the florals, the chamomile, are all lavender, of course. Anything that's flower, basically. It's very
Yeah.
calming. Yeah.
So the other services that you have, I thought I read up on like Reiki and
Yes. I do Reiki and reconnective healing, which is two different energy healing modalities. And they are very interesting in that we really never know what's going to happen because the client tends to receive what they need. So the healing, their energy, their body is very intuitive and it draws in the energy where it needs to go and does what it needs to do. It's pretty interesting on a physical, mental, and emotional level. So if people need more, and it's not so much what we need as what we want, so much as what we need, it seems. So they can experience things on a physical level where things, injuries or different parts of the body heal. It could be emotional where they let go of stuff that they've been carrying for a long time. It could be quite a variety of different things that they experience. And then reflexology.
oh, I love that. I've had that a while ago. I loved it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so reflexology is manipulating different points. I mean, I always use my hands because this is what I do with reflexology, manipulating different points on your feet that are connected to your organs, your systems, and your body. So it can also be on a structural level. So it can be muscular or it could be nervous system. And that's really powerful because sometimes someone might have a particular condition where we can't really massage that area and we can't really manipulate it, but we can do it through the feet. So it's kind of crazy. I can relieve pain and tension in your neck by working on your feet.
Yeah.
So
It's all connected, eh?
it is all connected, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that works quite well for a number of people. It's also extremely detoxifying. So if people want to, I've had clients post cancer therapies who've come to see me to just kind of release the toxins faster. And that's works really well.
Really? Wow.
And aromatherapy massage, I use essential oils, and I've started using hot stones as well. So it really helps to penetrate, to allow the essential oils to penetrate and the heat to really soften the tissues so that it's easier to massage without that crazy pressure sometimes that we need to break up those knots that we have from all the tension and stress we're under. So that's another therapy. And I also make a variety of different creams, lotions. People will ask me, can you make me something for this or something for that? So it's everything I make is plant-based and chemical-free, using just the best ingredients that I have access to. So I've been doing that for a number of years as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like chemistry. Sometimes it's a great success.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. It's good.
So it's fun. I like doing those things. So I do quite a variety of different.
You are doing right now consultations via Zoom?
Yes, I am. I'm doing consultations on Zoom for nutrition primarily, obviously, because I really can't do much of the others. I can do distance Reiki. As a Reiki master, I'm able to do Reiki at a distance, but which is very effective. But I find people just like the hands-on. They like to feel the hands-on, the energy, even though they feel it from a distance as well. It's just a little bit different. But I'm certainly open to doing those as well if they're interested.
Perfect. So if we would like to follow up with your services, how do we contact you, please?
Oh, there's many different ways. So you can call me, of course. My phone number is 705-840-7014. I have a Facebook page that has lots of information there, A Passion for Life. And I have a website. The website really explains everything that I do, all of the products that I sell, all the services that I offer, and a price list. So that's helpful. So my website is www.apassionforlife.ca. So it's pretty simple. So I have lots of information there. If you want to contact me by email, it is Lise Ritter, LISERITTER @apassionforlife.ca. So
awesome.
Awesome. Ways to get a hold of me.
Well, I'll be following up. I will. Oh yeah, now that I know about you.
Great.
So Lise, I want to thank you for being here today
Very
and for providing such great services towards health and wellness.
my pleasure. It's been great talking to you.
You too. Bye.